Welcome to Investor Copilot. I am Viraj, and today we are going to talk about the basics of stock markets. So let's get started. Let's look at the four important indices in North America. Before that, let's define what is a stock exchange. So the stock exchange is a body which regulates, executes, certifies, and conducts trades between a buyer and a seller. And these trades are conducted for securities which are traded on the stock market, most commonly common stocks and ETFs. Whereas an index is a hypothetical portfolio which is composed of an aggregation of numerous companies, and an index is a collective number which shows the direction or the health of these companies and the direction in which they are moving in the market, so that it serves as a good indicator for the investors. So S&P TSX Composite Index, composed of 250 top Canadian companies, is the premier index in Canada. It is trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the TSE. Then we have NASDAQ Composite, composed of numerous companies. The exchange is NASDAQ in the US, and this is a sought after and tracked exchange as well. Thirdly, we have Dow Jones Industrial Average, composed of 30 large manufacturing and infrastructure and energy companies in the US. The exchanges that this is present on are NYSE and NASDAQ in the US. Lastly, we have S&P 500. The exchanges that this trades on is NYSE, NASDAQ, and BZX in the US. So these four indices are highly tracked, and they show the market health in North America. Now, let's talk about key features of an exchange. So an exchange is a place where a buyer and a seller are always required to successfully conduct a trade. Exchanges only facilitate the trade and earn certain fees, but they do not retain your money, or they do not loan you or pay you out money. Exchanges don't do that. They only facilitate a trade between a buyer and a seller. Exchanges are driven by strict regulation in terms of clearing and settlement of trades, as well as listing of any type of security by any legal entity or company. So exchanges do not register companies at will or randomly. There is a lot of process that companies have to go through to get listed on an exchange, and it is driven by strict regulations. Now, thirdly, independent brokerages act as the outposts of an exchange and enable an individual to access the markets and invest with varying flexibility. They are highly regulated and are governed by a set of rules. So, when we speak about brokerages as outposts, what we mean by that, brokerages and brokerage systems give you access to all the features that our market has to offer, and you can use them to trade within the markets. We'll take a closer look at this as we go further. Let's talk about fees. There are two broad categories of fees that you pay for trades to the exchanges and brokerages combined. First is the transaction fee. This is charged by brokerages and agents for their work, which facilitates the trades. ECN is a fees which is charged for clearing and settlement, and this is part of the exchange's income. The second category is administrative fees. This is also charged by brokerages for back-end administration work. So for an investor, the important information is that you shell out about between anywhere between $5 to $9 Canadian for every transaction. The total fees will vary as per the security, the brokerage, and there are some other factors as well. But this is the generic range that you will spend for each trade. Now, a glance at Canadian brokerage firms. So we were talking about brokerages, and this is an area of interest for investors because the only way you can place an order on an exchange as an individual investor with a small amount are through brokerages. So Here we have a list of brokerages. You see that the ones in blue, the ones highlighted in blue, are associated with banking sector. So they are offered, their services offered by Canadian banks, and whereas the other ones in gray are uh, brokers who are not really associated with any bank. So this is an exhaustive list of brokerages available in Canada. However, before going to the next slide, I would like to place a disclaimer that Investor Copilot does not endorse, represent, or distribute products or services from any specific financial institution, brokerage, asset management company, financial product group, or financial process. This video series is only for your understanding and benefit as a personal investor. Okay, now let's go forward. The best four brokerage firms in terms of service, security, range, and pricing are the four highlighted above, that is Questrade, TD Direct Investing, Qtrade Investor, and Wealthsimple. This is my recommendation when it comes to choosing a brokerage in Canada. And as I said, I don't represent any of them, I don't work for any of them, or I don't endorse them. This is a neutral suggestion based on my research on the uh, features in terms of the range of securities available, the quality of service available, and the pricing, that is the fees deducted by and charged to you by each brokerage. So the first four on the list are what I would recommend. Now, how do we execute trades? Check the links in the description of this video for related videos on self-directed investing with examples. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.